let's take a look at the ES. That is the 60-minute chart of the S&P 500, which we look at every single week. This is a look at how stocks trade overnight and then how stocks trade during the day. And this is of a lot of interest, of course, to intraday traders, to day traders who do trade the futures, and a lot do actually stay up late at night, or people that are in Europe trade them in the middle of the night, in Asia. So this gives you a look at that. You can see what happened is that what we got was a decline early in the week, actually until Tuesday morning, and then rallied throughout the rest of the week. On Monday, China said they will not play defense on trade, and Trump said the tariffs are working, and they threatened more. And you could see the market actually held overnight and then sold off here on Monday. POTUS then on Monday morning, or I'm sorry, in the late afternoon on Monday, imposed those $200 billion at 10% and 25% coming. China said they would respond, and then overnight the market started to come back. And the rebound came as tariffs essentially excluded some tech products. iWatch is one of them. And China responded with tariffs on some $60 billion in U.S. goods. It was kind of light as far as that went. Then China came out here on Wednesday, said overnight they won't use the currencies as a weapon. And here are the financials. That's where they started to jump in here overnight, as the bond market really started to get nailed this week here. And on Wednesday, which was a modest up day, financials were getting stronger. Here on Thursday overnight is where the news came out. Trade tensions easing, China to lower tariffs on its non-U.S. partners versus raising to the U.S. And gotta wonder, is this considered a win for Trump? Or does it mean that they just don't have a lot more to fight back with without absolutely killing themselves, and the China economy is slowing, and they're very worried about more of that. And on Friday, it's been kind of a dull, choppy day. World stocks continued to move up as they drove up on Thursday. They continued up on Friday. But then this market that has gotten pretty frothy started to dance around in here, and everybody's waiting for this realignment that's coming as the S&P adds one more sector, moving some stocks out of the technology sector and into the new communication sector, and that has this dancing around. Speaking of the stock market, what we expected last week was that we would get a rally early week and that it would then fail and move to the downside. Well, we got one day of sell-off early in the week, and then it rallied for the rest of the week, and then started to maybe give a little ground here on Friday as the NASDAQ is pushing down. But that's all related to this change in the S&P 500. So we get no credit for that. That was not really what we expected in the market. And I want to take credit when it's due and say when it's not. So here's a look at the S&P 500 now. Now, there are this cycle right over here, the rut cycle coming down, and this cycle that you can see right over here, that's the shifted rut cycle coming down. Those are all pointing to some early weakness in here. But then you get into this period of rally again. The risks really pick up late September in early October, and you can see the projections in here. We have these two out-of-phase cycles that we're looking at, and that is a consideration to expect a choppy market coming forward in here. So right now the market's not able to give any ground in here, and we think even an early dip in the coming week. We'll look for a decline through midweek, maybe testing the area of 29.11 down to this middle of support in here, 29 around 29 even. Last week we said we thought the market would be buoyant, not give a lot of ground, because the momentum remains strong. You can see it's still strong in here by the slim ribbon, and we think that even if you get an early dip, the slim ribbon is going to hold it, and then it's going to try to rally again. The question is, will it fall sharper and give you a modest rally as we're looking in here, or will it be just a tiny little downtick in here and then move up to a new high before it rolls over? I have it drawn in the more bearish scenario in there, and that this blue will be rolling over and be preventing much of a rally, that blue ideal cycle on the bottom. However, that based on all of these positive configurations in here that you see and riding up the slim ribbon, that's just a guess, and it's a bias by me, and the technicals in here look stronger than I have drawn them in here. So we're going to look for down, up, choppy week, maybe finishing the week just a small down week, testing those support areas, and then maybe even choppy, if we're right about that, for the next 2 weeks before it then starts to roll over. Of course, I won't be doing this next week, so because I'm on vacation, so we'll see how that pans out. We're going to look for a choppiness coming into the market over these next couple weeks as we see these out of phase cycles in here often will bring some choppiness in there.